Hello and welcome to Tuesday Newsday, the only place that I could fit 5 video titles into one and it not be clickbait. Here you can get all of the week's VR news and memes in one sweet little package. So without further ado, let's get right into it. But first, I have a very special indie dev spotlight at the end of the video for a really cool game that I've been following for the past few months. So make sure to stick around for that. To start off, Oculus has put out a huge update for the Rift S, specifically version 1.39, that significantly improves tracking on the controllers in a variety of situations. This patch in particular makes tracking of the controllers while close to the headset way better, and many videos have showcased how much better the tracking is, especially in FPS games where you may have one hand close to your face to aim down sights, or also notably using a bow and arrow where one hand is right beside your face and you would commonly lose tracking. This sounds like an amazing update and really does validate a lot of what inside-out tracking is trying to do. Do I think this would have fixed the problem that I had in my Rift S? Well, nothing in the patch notes would make me think the fix had anything to do with the problem I specifically was having, as I believe I just had a bad unit, unfortunately. But for all of the Rift S users current and future, this is an awesome patch that will only make the headset better in the future. To flip things upside down, the Valve Index has been having a few issues, it would seem, particularly with the controllers. The biggest issue that I've heard so far is a hardware defect in the Index controller that is causing issues using the analog stick for directional movement and button presses, as well as someone I know personally having an issue with one controller not being picked up by the Index or the base stations at all. So essentially, he has one controller. It's a glorified Index Go. Yeah, not so pretty. Personally, I happen to have a good unit, at least so far, and the problems so far seem to be mostly software based, but we will have to see where things develop in the near future. What? I said something negative about the Index? Yeah, I did. One more thing before we move on from Valve. Gabe Newell has some interesting words to say about them working on an innovative wireless solution for PC VR, and here's what he had to say about it.
Several methods of doing untethered index. We have a lot of ideas for kind of revolutionary things to do with the display and optical technology. There are lots of opportunities to continue to improve, the volumes that you're tracked in and the simplicity with which you're being tracked in those spaces. Those are going to be pretty fundamental opportunities. And what they're going to enable is the best part of this, when you start seeing new VR games from Valve and from our other partners.
It seems like Valve knows that wireless untethered VR is the future and is superior to tethered VR, and I may make a video on the topic of wireless solutions for an HMD because there's really more than meets the eye. Wireless VR solutions are incredibly difficult and honestly require technology that we don't really have easy access to right now, at least for something that is exactly the same as a tethered headset. You're always going to have to give up some form of graphical fidelity as of now, whether that is graphics, frame rate, or both. Not to mention, it's pretty expensive, so I'm interested to see where this leads. Now, to get away from Oculus and the Index, the HTC Vive Cosmos finally has revealed its specs. So far, we know that the Cosmos has a resolution of 1440 by 1700 per eye. They just had her throw in that extra 100 pixels of resolution to really jab at everybody else, running at the golden standard of 90 Hz, using, of course, an RGB LCD panel. The LCD panel is able to provide an increased pixel density and likely give a much clearer image over its predecessors. Nothing has been set on price yet, but we should know details on that pretty soon. PiMax has announced huge physical updates to their 5K Plus and 8K VR headsets that will overall improve the functionality of the devices. These updates include, but are not limited to, a new fabric head strap, a more comfortable face cushion, a reinforced 3.5mm headphone jack, new and improved cables, and new shipment packing materials? I guess packing foam ain't cheap, and you gotta skimp out somewhere. Until that thing getting shipped breaks, then you backtrack. According to a VR podcast? Project Scarlet, the newest console announced for Microsoft's Xbox, may be receiving Oculus Rift S support, an objectively better VR headset to the rival Sony's PSVR. But no official information is stated on this anywhere. I just thought it would be interesting and a little exciting, as I'm sure the new Xbox will be more than capable of providing the horsepower needed to display VR games. If this is true, it would be great for PC VR owners as well, as most Xbox exclusive games are also getting PC releases, which could mean that more big name devs would jump onto the VR game development train. But really, this is all just hearsay for now. Now on to Developer Spotlight. Once again, I want to clarify this is not a sponsored advertisement. This is a game that I came across, saw huge potential in, and I personally reached out to these devs about getting more information and getting into their current testing for alpha and beta. Good indie games in the VR space really don't get the amount of exposure that they deserve, so I'm just trying to do my part and offer some love up for these smaller devs creating awesome stuff. This is Swords of GURRAH by Devster, or is it GURRAH? Whatever. From the Steam store page, fight in front of a bloodthirsty crowd as a sci-fi gladiator. And that's exactly what it is. It's a close-quarter competitive multiplayer VR game that so far has beautiful graphics for the small team developing it, and has pretty solid gameplay. Of course, this game is definitely undergoing development and has a decent road ahead of itself, but from what I've seen so far at least, this is a game everyone needs to keep on their radar. Right now, I believe they are looking for people to try out their beta and give some feedback, so go ahead and hop in their Discord as well as check out their Steam page. Both will be in the description, and make sure to mention Thrill sent you. Instant brownie points for all of us. Alright guys, well that sums up this week's Tuesday Newsday. Don't forget to like this video if you want more, subscribe if you need it, and hit that bell if you just can't live without it. Become a thrill seeker today in my Discord server. Much love guys, Thrill out.